Everyone thinks kettlebells are all about the swing. Wrong. The swing is actually the last exercise you should learn after 40. These 5 movements come first, and they're what keep you pain-free, mobile, and strong for decades. Here's what makes kettlebells different. The weight sits away from the handle. That offset pulls your body off-center, forcing your core and stabilizer muscles to fight to keep you upright. Dumbbells and barbells don't do this. This one design feature is why kettlebells build real-world strength better than anything else. 5 movements, 20 minutes, 3 times a week. That's the routine. And stick around for the last exercise. It's the one I barely see anyone doing, but it ties everything together. Now let's start with the first one, the goblet squat. If you can't squat down and stand back up without using your hands, you're at high risk for falls and loss of independence. This movement fixes that. The kettlebell sits at chest height. That weight pulls you forward slightly, which keeps your spine naturally upright. You can go deeper without your back rounding. That's why it's safer than barbell squats. Feet shoulder width apart. Hold the kettlebell by the horns at chest height. Sit back like you're aiming for a chair. Keep your chest up. Knees track over your toes. Don't let them cave inward. Go as deep as you can while keeping your heels flat. If your heels lift, you've gone too far. Now, if you have limited ankle mobility or tight hips, you won't be able to go deep at first. That's fine. Here's your progression. Start with a chair behind you. Tap the chair lightly with your butt and stand back up. That's your baseline. Do that for a week. Once that feels easy, lower the chair height or remove it entirely and squat to the depth you can control. Progress gradually. Depth will come as your mobility improves. If you have knee pain, keep your weight in your heels and don't let your knees travel past your toes. If pain persists, stick with the chair squat until you build strength around the joint. The 3 mistakes to avoid are knees caving inward, heels lifting off the ground, and letting your torso fold forward. Do 10 to 12 reps, 2 to 3 sets, and rest 60 seconds between sets. This is a great squat for parents. The exact movement you need to sit on the floor, play with your kids, grandkids, and stand back up without help. That's what we're protecting. Now, before we move to exercise 2, if you want to know exactly which muscles are holding you back and get a personalized exercise plan based on your specific weaknesses, check out my book in the description. Grab it, figure out your weak points, then come back and finish these exercises. That's your lower body sorted. But if you're still hunched over from sitting all day, the next exercise fixes that instantly. Introducing the Suitcase carry. Did you know your grip strength is actually a great predictor of how long you'll live? A 1 standard deviation drop in grip strength increases your risk of death by 17%. That's more powerful than blood pressure or cholesterol. This exercise builds that grip, and it fixes your posture at the same time. Pick up the kettlebell in one hand. Stand tall. Walk forward. Here's what's happening. The weight pulls you to one side. Your obliques and core have to fire hard to keep you upright. That's anti-lateral flexion. It's the exact strength pattern you use when carrying groceries, luggage, or a toddler. This movement hard codes real-world strength into your nervous system. Pick up the kettlebell. Stand tall. Don't lean toward the weight or let your shoulder creep up toward your ear. That means your core isn't working. Your shoulder is compensating. Walk forward. Keep your spine vertical. Eyes forward. If you're tilting or your shoulder is elevated, the weight's too heavy. If you struggle with balance or grip strength, start with a stationary hold. Pick up the kettlebell. Hold it for 20 seconds. Don't walk yet. Just stand there and resist the pull. Focus on keeping your shoulder down and your spine straight. Once that's easy for 30 seconds per side, start walking short distances, 10 to 15 feet. Build up from there. If you have wrist or hand arthritis, use a lighter weight and focus on time under tension rather than distance. Even a 10-pound kettlebell will build the core stability you need. 30 to 40 seconds per side. Walk 20 to 30 meters. Do 2 to 3 sets per side. The next exercise is the kettlebell halo. Quick note, this one benefits from being at a gym where you'll have access to lighter kettlebells. If you're training at home, use a light dumbbell, a water bottle, or a soup can. Most people over 40 have shoulders that click when they reach overhead. That's because your rotator cuff is weak and your shoulder joint is dry. This exercise lubricates the joint and rebuilds rotator cuff strength. without any risk. Hold the bell upside down by the horns. Circle it around your head. Slowly. Controlled. This is the only pure mobility exercise in the routine. It's not about strength. It's about restoring range of motion in your shoulders and upper back. Research shows halos significantly improve shoulder resilience and reduce impingement risk. Physical therapists recommend this for shoulder rehab across all age groups. Hold the kettlebell close to your neck, almost brushing your hair. Don't hold it far away. That defeats the purpose. Rotate slowly around your head. One full circle to the right, then reverse. One full circle to the left. Breathe continuously. Don't hold your breath. If you have limited shoulder mobility or existing shoulder pain, use a very light kettlebell, 5 to 8 pounds maximum. And here's the key. You don't need to complete a full circle at first. Start with a half circle. Rotate the bell from the front of your face to the side of your head, then back. Do that for both directions. As your shoulders loosen up over weeks, gradually increase the range until you can complete the full halo. If reaching overhead causes sharp pain, stop the movement where discomfort begins. Work within your pain-free range. Your range will expand naturally as the joint lubricates and strengthens. The two common mistakes are holding the bell too far from your neck and using jerky, fast rotations. Keep it slow. Keep it close. Control the movement. 5 to 8 reps in each direction. Lightweight only. Don't try push yourself with the weight and then regret it. Your shoulders are loose now, but none of that matters if your lower back gives out when you bend over. The next movement bulletproofs your back better than anything else. Exercise 4 is the Romanian deadlift. This is the movement that prevents you from throwing out your back when you pick up a bag of groceries. Most people bend from their spine. That compresses the discs in your lower back. This teaches you to hinge from your hips instead. That takes all the pressure off your spine and puts it where it belongs, your glutes and hamstrings. Feet hip width. Hold the kettlebell with both hands, hinge at your hips. Push your hips back, lower the weight. Stand back up. This builds your posterior chain, your hamstrings, glutes, and spinal stabilizers. That's the entire back side of your body. Those muscles are what keep you upright and pain-free when you bend, lift, or twist. When those muscles are weak, your lower back compensates. That's when injuries happen. Stand tall. Slight bend in your knees. Push your hips backward like you're closing a car door with your butt. Keep the kettlebell close to your thighs as you lower it. Stop when you feel tension in your hamstrings. Don't go deeper. Going deeper causes your back to round. That's the mistake that causes injury. Squeeze your glutes and stand back up. Hips come forward, chest stays tall. If you have tight hamstrings or existing lower back issues, your range of motion will be limited at first. That's okay. Only lower the kettlebell to mid-shin or knee height, wherever you feel hamstring tension without your back rounding. That's your stopping point. Don't force depth. Over time, as your hamstrings lengthen, you'll naturally be able to go lower. If you have chronic lower back pain, practice the hip hinge with no weight first. Stand facing a wall about 6 inches away. Place your hands on the wall at chest height. Push your hips back toward the wall behind you, while keeping your hands on the front wall. This teaches the hinge pattern without loading your spine. Do that 20 times until the pattern feels natural. Then add the kettlebell with very light weight, 8 to 10 pounds maximum. The number one mistake is rounding your lower back at the bottom. Keep your spine neutral the entire time. If your back rounds, you've gone too deep. Second mistake, letting the weight drift away from your body. Keep it close to your legs. 8 to 10 reps, 2 to 3 sets. Slow and controlled tempo. Your back's protected. Your hips are mobile. Now the final movement ties it all together, and it's the one most people never do. The single arm kettlebell press. Try this right now. Reach your arm straight overhead. If your shoulder clicks, your elbow locks out painfully, or you can't get your arm fully vertical without arching your back, you've just identified your weak link. This movement fixes that. Hold the kettlebell at shoulder height in one hand. Press it straight overhead, lower it back down. This builds shoulder stability and overhead strength. But more importantly, it forces your core to resist rotation. When you press weight overhead with one arm, your body wants to twist and lean away from the weight. Your core has to fire hard to keep you stable. That's unilateral core strength. It's the same strength pattern you use when lifting luggage into an overhead bin or reaching for something on a high shelf. Stand tall. Kettlebell at shoulder height. Elbow tucked in tight to your ribs. Press straight up. Don't lean away from the weight. If you're leaning, your core isn't working. Press until your arm is straight overhead. Pause for 1 second at the top. Lower it back down with control. If you have limited shoulder mobility or core weakness, start kneeling instead of standing. Kneel on both knees. Press from there. That removes the lower body stability demand and makes the press easier to learn. Once you can do 8 clean reps kneeling without leaning, progress to half kneeling. 1 knee down, 1 foot planted. That adds moderate core challenge. Finally, move to standing. If overhead pressing causes shoulder discomfort, don't press to full lockout. Press to whatever height feels comfortable, even if that's only halfway. Your range will improve as shoulder stability builds. Use a lightweight, 8 pounds or less to start. 2 mistakes. Arching your lower back excessively. That means you're pressing too heavy. Leaning away from the weight. That means your core is weak. If either happens, use a lighter kettlebell or regress to the kneeling variation. 6 to 8 reps per side, 2 to 3 sets, controlled tempo up and down. There you have it. 5 movements that build real-world strength and keep you in the game for decades. The Goblet squat protects your independence, your ability to get up and down from the floor without help. The Suitcase carry builds grip strength, the single strongest predictor of longevity, and fixes your posture under load. The Kettlebell Halo lubricates your shoulder joints and rebuilds rotator cuff resilience. The Romanian deadlift teaches the hip hinge and bulletproofs your lower back. And the single arm press builds shoulder stability and unilateral core strength. 5 movements, 20 minutes, 3 times a week. Start with 2 sessions per week for the first 2 weeks, then progress to 3. That's the formula. Now here's the question. Which of these 5 feels the hardest for you? That's your weak link. Drop a comment and let me know. And if you're serious about staying strong, mobile, and pain-free as you age, hit that subscribe button and join this community. We're all working toward the same goal, staying in the game for the long haul.